It is me, Alia, and I am here to talk to you guys about, I don't know if I want to call it the second episode or part 2 of the first episode. Let's just say the second episode of season 5 of Teen Wolf. We begin the episode with a girl named Tracy who has night terrors, and she is talking to Lydia's mom, who is a therapist, and she's just talking about what happens when she has these night terrors. So she gives a story where she's in her room at night and there's like a window open, so she closes it, and then she gets in bed and she's like hearing noises and windows keep opening and she has to close them, and it's just a bunch of stuff going on. I mean, she's on a chair trying to close the window and someone pulls the chair from underneath her, and then her Lydia's mom is just telling her that it's just not real. They're night terrors. It's nothing serious. And then she coughs up black stuff all over Lydia's mom's desk, and there's like a feather in it. And it's just like, whoa. Teen Wolf sure knows how to start an episode. The next scene that happens is Scott helping a dog at his job as a vet. And this little girl, who's the owner of the dog, calls him Dr. McCall when she thanks him. And he's like, well, I'm not a doctor yet. And this just kind of relates how Scott is working towards being a vet, but he's actually not telling all of his friends. So when all of these different things that relate to being a vet come up, they're all confused because they didn't know this is what he wanted. But I think it's sweet that this is what he wants to do. Scott has his boss Deaton look at the claws of the scary wolf man, and they're not actually claws, they're talons, and they're talons that can absorb someone's power. And Deaton says that this isn't supposed to be possible, so he believes that someone is trying to change the rules of just the supernatural order, I guess you can call it. In this episode, Styles is very suspicious about Theo. Oh my gosh. First he's saying that Theo is not Theo, but then Theo tells Scott a story of something that Scott had done for him in the 4th grade, and so it kind of leads Dylan to believe, like, okay, Theo is Theo. But then he comes to a new conclusion that Theo's parents aren't his parents, and it's just like, what? He comes up with some crazy stuff, but Styles might be onto something. I mean, when he has a thought in mind, but he's not going to give up on it. So maybe there is something up with Theo. Like I said before, Scott's keeping it on the DL that he wants to be a vet. So when he shows up in AP Biology, Lydia and Kira are very confused. I mean, Kira even asks him, like, are you in the right class? And he says that he is. He's got his book highlighted with little tabs and everything. So that boy is set. But guess who's in the class? Theo. Someone's trying to get into that group, if you know what I'm saying. But also, Scott mentioned in the class that he wants to go to UC Davis, and that school, I have a friend who goes to UC Davis, and it is hard. She has hardly any free time. So if Scott wants to get into that school, he's going to have to work really hard, and he's already started, so kudos to you, Scott. In school, Tracy ends up freaking out in the hallway. She's having like a night terror where she sees black stuff seeping from lockers, and she sees the creepy people who are called doctors, and they're like climbing on the lockers, and then Lydia ends up waking her up from her night terror, and Lydia's like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah. And then when she walks away from her locker, there's like a claw mark, and it's just like, whoa, what is happening with Tracy? We don't know yet, but by the end of that episode, you will know. Before Leo tells Styles and Scott about how Scott helped him in 4th grade, he tells them the story of how he became a wolf. So he was skating because he wasn't really good. He was trying to prove that he was. So he was just skating. Before he knew it, it was nighttime. And he just wanted to try one more time before he went in for the night. So when he did, he skated. He fell off his skateboard and fell really hard. And the thing was, he had never heard a skateboard hit the ground from when he fell. And then out of nowhere, a wolf comes and bites him. And Scott's like, well, why aren't you part of this wolf's pack? But he said that the wolf was killed by twins. And you guys know that those twins were Aiden and Ethan, because what other twins would anyone be talking about? Lydia talks to her mom about Tracy to try to help, and her mom doesn't really give her anything that she can do. She just says that Tracy is troubled and blah blah blah. So Lydia gets Parrish, and they decide to look out for her at night to make sure nothing really is going on. And they, guys, I guess I did miss something last season, because they definitely have a connection, so can't wait for that. Stiles ends up recruiting Liam to spy on Theo, and they follow him out to like the forest, and they see Theo standing on the bridge, and he's dropping flowers, and then Stiles realizes that Theo's sister had died earlier, so he's leaving flowers for her. And when they're trying to leave because they're embarrassed of what they did, Theo finds them. And then I guess Scott shows up later, and it's just like, well, what's going on? Like, why are you spying on him? And Stiles just says that he doesn't trust him, and Scott's like, well, I do. And Stiles says, well, because you trust too much. And then Stiles gets mad, and he hits his car because it's not working at the time. And Scott takes his pain away, which is really sweet. I mean, it's like brotherly love. It's so cute. But, yeah, Stiles, not happy. So, after that whole debacle with Theo is over, Liam goes back to the school because he realizes he was supposed to meet his friend Mason. And Mason's kind of mad at him because he, waited 2 hours. And then there's a wolf, and Mason points out the wolf, and then they run into the school. And in order to get the wolf to stop, Liam goes all werewolf on it, and then it leaves, and Mason finds out that Liam is a werewolf, so now there's someone else who knows the secret. The wolf who chased them into the school ended up being Theo, and I'm thinking he did this to distract Liam away from him, to get the attention off of Theo himself and onto something else. While Lydia and Parrish are watching Tracy's house, they get distracted a little bit because they're flirting and stuff, and Tracy ends up leaving, and she ends up going to the doctor's laboratory where they inject her with something, and then she turns into a werewolf. And I was just like, what? And then it pans back to all the time she was having night terrors, and during that time she pretty much wolfed up. So when her windows kept opening, it was because she was going out of them herself, and she had killed a ton of birds on her roof, which explains the feather when she was throwing up. It was her, so the doctors got to her. Now, I did say that Stiles had a reason to be sketchy about Liam. Theo. Oh my gosh, Theo. And that is because, well, we still don't know why, but Theo is in his house, and he has a hammer. And he's talking to these two people who you think are his parents, but I don't think they are, because Theo's talking to them about how the father should have gotten the signature right, because that's what Stiles is talking about. His father's not his father because the signature was different. Theo was like, well, why wasn't the signature right? You should have practiced that 100 times. And the dad was like, well, I did. And Theo says, well, the only way they believe that you didn't get it perfect is because you have a broken hand. So Theo breaks his hand. And I'm just like, what? What is this dude doing? What is his game? He thinks he's meant to be in the pack, but the people in Scott's pack do not do stuff like this. So I don't know what game he's playing, but it's a game that I'm looking forward to seeing. So guys, that is the end of this episode. Well, the episode I was talking about, not this, because this is not an episode, but this is the end of my video also. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Teen Wolf, the first 2 episodes are on. It's a fresh season, so catch up if you haven't seen it yet. It is going to be good, guys. It is. They're seniors, there's going to be a lot going on, so I'm excited. And I really hope that there's another season after this. They could just end it with them going off to college, or they could do a whole nother season where they are in college and there's still crazy stuff going on. So we don't know, but I'm excited for this season, and I hope you guys are too. Give this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe, comment below, anything. Like I always say, I'm open to any type of criticism or whatever. So, like I said, hope you guys enjoy this, and I will see you guys next time. Where I will most likely talk about either Stitcher's or MTV's new series, Scream. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.